Simon & Schuster Audio presents The Book of Viking Myths. From the Voyages of Leif Erikson to the Deeds of Odin, the storied history and folklore of the Vikings. By Peter Archer, read by Ulf Bjorklund. Dedication. For Watson, Vivian, and Frederick, 3 Vikings setting out on their voyage of discovery, with a little plundering and pillaging on the side. Thanks to Karen Cooper, Brendan O'Neill, Rebecca Tarr Thomas, and Katie Corcoran Lytle at Adams Media for their support and assistance with this project. Thanks to Heather Pageon for her superb copy editing. And, as always, thank you to my wife, Linda, for her help and patience. Chapter 1. Who were the Vikings? One morning in the year 1793, the monks of the monastery of Lindisfarne, off the coast of eastern Britain, looked from their stone huts in puzzlement. A vessel had anchored off the shore, one like none they had seen before. It was long and rode low in the water. Oarsmen maneuvered it into the tiny harbor, while a single square sail hung from the mast in the center of the boat. Its prow rose high above the crew, and the monks noticed it was carved into a ferocious dragon's head. Who were these strange folk? The monks asked one another, and what did they want? Their questions were soon answered. With cries, the men from the boat leaped to shore, wielding spears and axes. Monks who tried to stop them were hewn down. Others were captured, shackled, and carried off to the ship. Streams of blood ran over the rocks and mingled with the uncaring sea. The invaders swept through the settlement, seizing precious relics, not for their religious value, but for their material worth. When all had been taken or destroyed, the raiders hurled torches into the buildings and returned to their boats. Those monks made captive looked back at the black smoke rising from the Holy Isle. It was the last they would ever see of it. Most of them were carried off to the east, where they were sold into slavery. The raid on Lindisfarne was the first major attack by the people history would come to know as the Vikings. For more than a century, their longboats ranged along the coasts of England, Scotland, and Ireland. They brought such terror with them that for decades priests added to their prayers the words, "From the fury of the Northmen, good Lord, deliver us." The Lindisfarne raid sent shockwaves throughout Christendom. Alcuin of York, a leading intellectual light of Britain, later a member of the court of Emperor Charlemagne, wrote, "We and our fathers have now lived in this fair land for nearly 350 years, and never before has such an atrocity been seen in Britain as we have now suffered at the hands."
Sample complete. Ready to continue?